This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. That little solo there that we kicked off the video with is kind of relevant to what we're going to be talking about today. You'll see why as we go on. But today is Wednesday, which means we're dealing with viewers' questions. If you have any questions at all of a music or guitar related nature, something that's got you stumped, something you'd like an answer, something that you just can't kind of get sorted out in your mind, then drop me a line. guitartuition@gmail.com, or you can leave a comment below this video or any of my other videos, or you can use the contact form on my website. You can see the address there at the top of the screen. Link is in the description, and you might just find your question is getting featured in one of these videos. One chap who did get in touch was called Mike, and this was his question.
Hi John, you asked for questions for your Wednesday videos, so here's one. You never seem to have any problem knowing or remembering the names of the notes on the neck. How do you do it? Did you just sit down and learn it like a times table way back when you were a beginner? Or is there some system you use? If so, can you share it with us? I can work out what note is at what fret, given enough time, but I can never seem to memorise it so it's there instantly when I need to know which note to hit when I'm playing. Thanks in advance, Mike.
So, how to remember where notes are on the neck? How to learn the neck? Well, basically, it's the old question, isn't it? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time is the answer. Don't try kind of digesting it all in one big lump, because it just won't work. And each little bit of information, each little bit of knowledge that you assimilate, make use of it. Make it kind of useful to you, so that it's. If a piece of information, a piece of knowledge solves a problem for you or helps you in some way, that's usually what makes it kind of take root up here and stay remembered. Here's a bit of an explanation about an exercise that you can do to start doing exactly that, putting your kind of note knowledge to work.
Here is the explanation.
Okay, so assuming that you are like Mike and you can figure out where any given note is on the fretboard by probably counting up from the open strings, like for instance if you know that this is an A string and you know that you then go to A sharp or B flat, and then B, and then C, and then C sharp or D flat, and so on and so on and so on until you get all the way up to G sharp or A flat here, and then back to A at the octave. Assuming that you've basically got that level of knowledge where you know the chromatic scale essentially, then how do you get it so that you can just instantly find where a note is anywhere on the neck? Well, I think the best way of doing it, in my experience, that's all I can speak from, is to find a way of making that knowledge useful. If you put like a few minutes work into figuring out where a note is, and then you play that note and it makes you sound good, then you've put in effort and you've got reward in return for that effort, and that's the kind of thing that makes that information take root. So, what we're going to do here is a little bit of note targeting. Here is a chord sequence. It's the chord sequence you heard me playing that solo over at the top of the video. And the next thing you need to do once you've got a chord sequence like this is you need to know what notes are in those chords. And there is a very, very simple way that you can do this. Basically, any minor chord, just find the root note. And then the three notes in most of these chords, find the root note. So there's a B note representing the B minor, and then go 3 frets up from the B, that takes you to a D, and then go 4 frets up from the D, that takes you to an F sharp. A minor chord is your root note plus the note 3 frets above it plus the note 4 frets above that. A major chord, let's have a look at the D major chord in the third bar. Basically, you take those two numbers 3 and 4 and flip them around. So a D chord, let's use the D note, open D string. You take the D note, that's your root, and then you go 1, 2, 3, 4 frets up from the D, that takes you to an F sharp. And then you go 3 frets up from that note, 1, 2, 3, that takes you to an A. So the notes in a D major chord are D, F sharp, and A. And you can actually play a D chord on the fretboard. D, F sharp, and A. Those are the 3 notes in that chord. So minor chords are 3 frets, then 4 frets. Major chords are 4 frets, then 3 frets. We've got an augmented chord in the second bar there. What's going on there? Well, an augmented chord is just a similar sort of principle, but in the case of augmented, you go 4 frets, then another 4 frets. So there's an A sharp there. 1, 2, 3, 4 frets up from A sharp takes me to a D. 1, 2, 3, 4 frets up from a D takes me to an F sharp. And that F sharp 7 chord at the end, we'll just pretend for the purposes of this exercise that it's just a simple F sharp major chord. So minor chords, root plus 3 plus 4. Major chords, root plus 4 plus 3. That augmented chord, root plus 4 plus 4. And you can figure out in pretty short order that the notes in each of those chords are, well, the B minor chord has B, D and F sharp. The A sharp augmented has A sharp, D and F sharp. The D major has D, F sharp and A. The E major has E, G sharp and B. The G major has G, B and D. D major once again is D, F sharp and A. E minor is E, G and B, and the F sharp 7 is F sharp, A sharp, C sharp and E, but we'll just, as I say, we'll just treat it like an F sharp major, F sharp, A sharp, C sharp. So we can figure out what notes are in the chords by using that kind of 3 plus 4 for minor, 4 plus 3 for major, and 4 plus 4 for augmented. Right, okay, so we've got that. The next thing to do is then choose one note from each chord. So those are the notes I'm going to choose from the chords. I'm going to choose a B note from the B minor, an A sharp from the A sharp augmented, an A from the D chord, a G sharp from the E chord, a G from the G chord, an F sharp from the D chord, and then an E and a C sharp from the final 2 chords. Now, here's the thing. You may have noticed that what I'm doing there is I'm playing a B note, and then I'm going down 1 fret to A sharp, then I'm going down 1 fret to A, then I'm going down 1 fret to G sharp, then I'm going down 1 fret to G, then I'm going down 1 fret to F sharp, then I'm breaking the 1 fret cycle and going down 2 frets to E, and then I'm going up to the C sharp here, which we can say, well, that's at the 11th fret on the D string. We know that's the 11th fret on the D string because we know the 12th fret on the D string is a D note. So there's a C sharp. So the first thing you could do is I'm going to put that chord sequence on. I've got it programmed into my looper, and I'm just going to play those notes just in that sequence there over the top of the loop. It'll sound like this. So, if you go through that and you repeatedly say the names of those notes, then you're basically tying a little mental label onto each one of those locations that you've gone through. There you go in kind of B, A sharp, A, G sharp, G, F sharp, E, C sharp. And that's one way that you can do it, but we can kind of dress that up a little bit more and make it a bit more lick friendly. So what we're going to do now is take a look. There is the B minor pentatonic, and I've indicated on there where the B note is, and I've indicated where one of the F sharp notes are. So basically these two notes here, what you would effectively call a power chord, a B note and an F sharp note. And again, I'm making the assumption that you would be able to figure out where those notes are in pretty short order, because these two strings, the 5th and 6th strings, are the strings that you tend to locate things like bar chords on up and down the neck and so on. So let's assume that you can play or locate the B and the F sharp notes. So I'm going to use this B note here on the D string, and I'm going to come down, I'm going to go basically B, A sharp, A, G sharp, and then I don't really want to go any further down the neck because that's taking me out of my little pentatonic box kind of pattern, this sort of area that I'm going to be playing in up here. So I've gone B, A sharp, A, G sharp. Where do I go to get the B? Well, the G rather. Well, okay, I know that the G is always 1 fret above F sharp, and I know where the F sharp is because I can see it there. So I can go F sharp, G, then F sharp, and then there's the E there, and then I can just scoot up to here for the C sharp, which is 2 frets above the B that I started on. So I'm just going to kind of do exactly the same exercise as I did before, just coming down that one string, but I'm going to kind of tighten it up and keep it all more kind of located in that part of the neck, like this. And all the while you're doing this, what you're doing is you are thinking in terms of what is the name of this note that I'm landing on. You are absolutely stressing that. Even say it out loud if you need to. So you're going B, A sharp, A, G sharp, G, F sharp, E, C sharp, like that. And don't underestimate the amount of time that you're going to need to spend doing this. This might be an entire practice session that you spend just kind of getting that information, that kind of foundation for what we're going to do next, absolutely dialed in. And it already sounds pretty cool. It's already kind of beginning to sound like the bones of a solo. Once you've got to that point, though, what you can do is start, kind of using those notes as the focal point of a lick. So you could go and finish on the B note there, and you know that's a B note because you've been telling yourself for however long you've been practicing it that note is a B. Then A sharp, A, G sharp, G, F sharp, E, and then up to the C sharp. Let's try that over the loop. And you're starting to get a melodic solo happening, and it's a solo that you probably wouldn't have been able to play if you hadn't had that note knowledge. So you've spent a bit of time figuring out what notes are in chords and where notes are and stuff like that, and you've then put that knowledge to work, and it's made you sound good. And as I say, when you get that reward for having put in the effort, that is what tends to make the information seem relevant and useful, and therefore something that subconsciously you think, yeah, I'm just going to keep that to hand. I'm going to kind of make sure I don't sort of let that one just kind of go in one ear and out the other. And then, of course, where do you go with this? Well, I've showed it in one kind of position of the B minor pentatonic. Try doing it in a higher octave in that same pattern. Try going to the other positions of the B minor pentatonic scale and doing it there, working out where the B note is, working out where the F sharp note is, and try doing that that kind of chromatic progression down. B to A sharp to A to G sharp. Like, say, for instance, if I was doing it in position 4 of the B minor pentatonic, I could go, I know there's a B. There's an A sharp, there's an A, there's a G sharp. G is there, F sharp that is there, E is there, and then I can bend up to the C sharp there from the B. Like might sound like this. 2, 3. Let's just mute the mic. And if you build this kind of thing into your practice routine, doing it with different chord progressions and, locating different notes, gradually over a period of time, you will just start to know that, you'll start to notice straight away that you get a lot kind of slicker and quicker at doing the counting up and the figuring out where stuff is. And then gradually you'll realise, I didn't have to work that out, I just knew it. And that's certainly how it worked for me, and I've taught many people this way, and it seems to be a way of learning the fretboard that is kind of engaging as much as anything else. You end up doing more than just sit there kind of like chanting a times table and doing rote memorization. You're actually producing kind of music along the way as a result of doing this, and as I say, it seems to work. So there you go. Now you know what to do. Go away and have some fun with it. And as always, that solo at the top of the video, which was using the principles described in that explanation, that solo is tabbed out in full in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, and there's a jam track for you to play along with, and there's that explanation clip that you can download and keep forever. All of that is up on my Patreon page. There's the address, and the link is in the description. $3 or £2.50 a month gets you access to all of these additional resources that go along with these YouTube videos. A massive thank you to everyone who supports me in that, or any of the other ways, all of which are also linked down below. And that is pretty much it for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the video and found it useful and informative in some small way, and if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And don't forget the live stream every Friday, 5 PM UK time, where we drink beer and talk about music and guitars. What a great way to kick off the weekend. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.